Hi, I'm Kira with Debt.com. In this video, we're catching up with DeShena Woodard of Extravagantly Broke about how your money mindset impacts your financial life. So why did you decide on the name Extravagantly Broke?
Because I felt like that's how I was living. It's like I'm a professional. I made a decent salary, but I had no money. So that made no sense. It's like I went to college to get a degree so that I can get a good job so that I can make money. But yet I'm always broke. I'm always in debt. I'm always living paycheck to paycheck. I'm having physical symptoms every time I'm paying my bills. I always felt on edge, especially around paying time. And so it's like, but yet on the surface, I had the luxury car. I had the nice house. My kids are in activities. So I probably looked like I was doing well, but behind the scenes, I'm stressed. So that's kind of my thinking behind Extravagantly Broke, because you look like on the outside like things are going well, but yet had no money, nothing really to feel good about.
Did that stress and those physical symptoms around bills, did they start going away once you changed your mindset and used your budget?
The tremors stopped, the heart pounding stopped, but there's still always, it's probably ingrained that scarcity, that little bit of scarcity behind there. That's probably why I had to save first. I mean, I had to make sure I'm building a savings, and so there's always the worry or fear that it could all go away. What if something, tragic happens, and then you're back in that situation. But I think definitely with the mindset shift, I know the things not to do, like not to go out and just start charging things or getting loans, just to be more intentional with my money in general and keeping track, which were things that I never did before. So now I think that will never go away, but there's always that little bit of, fear in the back of your mind that, what if something happened? But hey, a pandemic happened. But fortunately, I actually, with my job, I am a registered nurse, so I still am working. But but I did build up a nice cushion that I'd be good for a couple of years at least anyway, which I'm trying to grow that. That's my thing now. I'm trying to grow my funds, but yeah, definitely the physical symptoms went away, but a little bit of the fear remains.
And the saving helps a lot with your mindset in general too, because I know when I have more savings, I feel much more secure for my future.
Yes, absolutely. Same thing. And that definitely goes hand in hand with the mindset, because when you're managing your money effectively, keeping your expenses low, it's like right now, I don't owe anybody. So that's such a relief. I don't owe anybody. It's like I'm 100% debt free. Of course, I have to pay the power company and pay the water company, but those are bills that will never go away. But I don't owe anybody.
Yeah, not owing anybody is always a good feeling.
Yes.
I also have a question, more of an advice question. Because I'm wondering, obviously we're Debt.com, so we talk a lot to consumers that are in debt. And so I'm wondering, how do you think that consumers can stay positive even if they're struggling to pay down debt and save? And how did you stay positive even when it got really hard, when you were doing that yourself?
I stayed positive once I started to look at the big picture. And I think small wins help, because it's like once you get that small win, then that kind of gets the ball rolling. Within a few months, that one was paid, which before, and then you're looking at the interest. It's like, oh my God, look at all this interest. I can't just keep paying all this interest. So that was a motivator for me, because it's like, that's just free money I'm giving away. I'm already, complaining that all of my paycheck is gone, but yet I'm giving away all this extra money and free interest. So For me, I kind of focus on, I pay off the small bill, and then I went after the high interest because interest that really that affects me to see that I'm paying this much on interest. So, some people prefer one or the other, but at least once I started paying off one or two things, that was a motivator. It's like, okay, I can do this. Now I don't have those bills anymore. Now let me see what else I can attack. So I think
into a challenge.
Yeah. And then it becomes like a game almost. It's like, okay, well, let me see which one, it's like, which one can I pay and what can I do? And let's see how I can move this around and how I can do that. And it just got, it was the snowball effect, I guess. It's just started the ball rolling where, I think once you get at least one or two wins, then you realize, okay, this can be done. And then with the mindset shift, you don't even want to go back to the same thing because it's like I said, you start to realize what's really important. And, having an iPhone doesn't matter to me. I just need a phone that I can call my kids and that can get me accurate GPS. That's what I need. I don't, so I just feel like, you got to determine what you value. But then I'll pay money on a cruise because I love that. I love traveling with my family. But luxury car, don't care so much.
That can just shift your whole life when you decide what really matters to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So for your blog, do you work with clients like financial coaching?
I am. I'm still new at it. And I'm still, since I'm new, I've worked with a couple of clients, but I'm still trying to grow that part of my business. And, it's so amazing. This one couple that I just finished with, the transformation, in the beginning, she felt like being debt free was unattainable. I mean, they were always behind. And actually I've been sending out an email series to my on my email list about their journey, and I'm actually going to do a post about it. And I did an interview with them, but even just she also wrote a testimonial for me that I have not put on my website yet because, like I said, I work full time, so I always feel like I'm behind on everything, hard keeping up. And now with my son home too, trying to track him in school. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And to her, it's become like that same. She had that same feeling like I had, like, oh wow, let me see how much more I can save, what more I can do, And she's just like, it's just been such a lifesaver. So yeah, so I have coached a few. I'm trying to grow that business, but it's been slow going. But I am doing that.
Well, that sounds like you've already had some successful clients, so that's great.
Yeah, that
is. So what are the usual tips that you give to either clients or just, general on your blog that you think are the most necessary? Like if you had to narrow your advice down to 3 things, what would it be?
Number 1 is definitely write it down. Track. You have to be tracking because, like I said, I've done some interviews with some financial experts, and this one, she'd been coaching for over 20 years, and she said the biggest thing that she see that 80-90% of her people don't do is track. If people just don't track, I don't know, we just don't want to. But like I said, I may dive into that one day in a post just to see why or what we can do to convince people how important that is. But definitely tracking, stop creating new debt. People, I don't think they even realize it, when you're charging, when you charge, it could take, like, I did a post where I believe it was like just to pay off, people put on their credit cards like $1,100 that on average during the Christmas time, and they could still be paying that off 5 years later if you're just paying the minimum.
Oh my gosh.
5 years to pay that off. And
for one Christmas.
Yeah. And people don't even realize it. It's like most people feel that they'll pay it off in like 6 months. But to do that, you have to really be intentional. You have to really be planning to dedicate a certain amount every month to get that paid off. But tracking, stop creating new debt, pay cash. Cash is your friend.
I think that for tracking, some people just don't want to admit what they're spending.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit, that's part of the negative mindset too. People don't want to face it, and I say that a lot in my email posts and on some of my posts. I say that people just don't want to see the monster, but you can't fight the monster that you're afraid to see. So you have to see it so that you know how to attack it.
Right, and seeing it lets you take control back. If
Absolutely.
You don't know, you can't do anything.
That's right. So true. So true. Yeah.
So, I think I've covered most of my questions for you, but do you have anything else you want to say about your blog or any extra advice?
Well, in my blog, I really want to empower women to know that, you can be debt free and you can work towards living the life that you want to live. You don't have to just be an entrepreneur or anything. You can just pursue whatever your passion is, whatever it is, because for a long time I put my dreams on hold. Now I'm trying to pursue them. I wanted to write. I actually wrote a book. That's part of also the reason why I started my blog, because to build an audience. Because I wrote a book about expenses, like an Extravagantly Broke book, and I wanted to grow my audience so that I can put my message out there. But I wanted to really empower professional women to know that you don't have to live in debt. We weren't taught, but just because you weren't taught doesn't mean you can't learn.
I like that, especially, that you can always learn. Like I said, we'll follow up with you. Be safe, and we'll be in touch soon.